Welcome to the channel, guys. On today's video, we're going to be replacing the Serpentine belt on this Dodge Ram 1500 with a 5.7 liter. Now, it's fairly common for the belt to wear and start squealing or chirping noise you'll get out of them. Generally, I believe Ram recommends it at 90,000, and in any vehicle, typically they'll last from 50 to 100,000 miles. You do want to at least replace it at 90. So that's what we'll be doing today. Before we get started, if you could please hit the like and subscribe button, that will be greatly appreciated. With the truck running, you can hear that squeal that's coming from that belt. It doesn't go away, it just kind of goes up and down with the RPMs. So you can hear it even more with the hood open. These are a couple of things you're going to need. A Serpentine belt tool will help make your life easier. I have a universal one here that typically works on just about any vehicle. All we're going to need for the Dodge Ram Hemi is just my standard bar here with a 3/8 square end on it. It's just like a ratchet. And, of course, our new belt. So let's get started. It's all accessible. There's nothing in the way. All we need to do is move this tensioner to take the tension off the belt so it can be pulled off the pulleys. Now, before you remove the belt, it's probably not a bad idea to take a picture of the routing so you can reroute your new belt the same way. Belt tool inserted onto the end of the tensioner. It's a square end, and there's a square hole on the end of the tensioner. Once that's inserted, you're able to move the tensioner in either direction. In this case, we'll pull it towards the driver's side, which is the left side, and that'll take the tension off the belt, and you can see it lifting off the pulley. Now, it's going to be kind of hard to do for me and with one hand, so I'll put this down for a second. So I was able to move that tensioner and remove the belt from the pulley. Now we just have to pull it off of all the pulleys, including the water pump, the tensioner, and the idler here up top, the alternator. Let's get this belt out. So here is our old belt removed. Now remember, you do have to go up and over the fan and pull the belt out in one direction. So here's our old belt. You can usually tell a lot of them if you flip it over to the rib side, they crack. This one's not cracked, but you can see how worn out the ribs are. And you can see the ribs here on the new one on this side here compared to our worn out old belt. There are many tools available to check the wear on the Serpentine belt. I have this simple tool here. All that's made to do is insert in your ribbed area. And you can see this sits completely flat inside of it. Meaning those ribs get worn. You can see that how deep it goes inside of it, and usually that's what will cause your squeal. It's just worn from the mileage. So this belt has about 92,000 miles on this. It's definitely time to replace it. Before you go replacing the belt, you want to spin all your free spinning pulleys by hand. Make sure there's no noise. Alternator up here. There is an idler pulley right below it, your power steering pulley, and of course you'll have your tensioner pulley. Kind of hard to get a video of it, but again, you want to spin everything by hand. Make sure there's no roughness, there's no play back and forth onto any of the pulleys, and your water pump also, of course. And, so if you find an issue, you want to replace those also at the same time. But everything's good here in my case. We'll go ahead and start replacing this belt. So first thing you want to do is compare the belt to your new one. Make sure it's the same length. Then we can go ahead and install this onto the truck. First thing you want to do is kind of make a loop, and we'll go through the fan shroud and put it up and over the fan. Once you have the belt routed around the fan, it does help to go underneath of the truck to put the belt on the crank pulley and the tensioner at the bottom first before you pull it up and go up and over the other pulleys. I have my belt routed over all the pulleys as it should be, other than my alternator. So at this time, I'll go ahead and take my belt tool. onto the belt tensioner, pulling towards the driver's side, and I can go ahead and get this onto the alternator. That'd be the last loop to go on. Then we'll go ahead and relieve the tension. So I was able to pull the tensioner back and put the belt right up and over the alternator pulley, making sure the belt stays on all the pulleys as it should. Belt is where it should be. We'll remove our belt tool. We'll look at the underneath once to make sure the belt is on the crank pulley all the way around and on the tensioner. Then we'll go ahead and start it up. Belt is perfect, no more noise. That took care of the chirping, the squealing noise. Now the engine's nice and smooth. That's a fairly simple job to do. I'll leave all the parts in the description for you. I thank you for watching.